Oh my gosh, another MX Bikes video? What's going on, guys? It's Kellen here from Start Your Systems, and welcome back to MX Bikes, where today we're going to be playing Coastal Park MX and MX Bikes by Higgo. Higgo, I guess, has never released a track before, or maybe he has released a track, I'm not too sure, but he released this track a few days ago. A couple people have already played it. You've probably seen Lynn's play it, or a couple other people, and it's a very, very fun track, and I want to talk about it today. Give a couple credits to some of the people that he shouted out in his post. It is a replica track in Australia, Western Australia, just south of Perth. Just actually looked that up on the Google Maps to confirm. But he just wanted to shout out Agitato, Geopanda, Fat Muppet, TFC, Rochelle, Navo, Endo, Fred MX, Rubes, and Cody James for the objects, and then tutorials from Nico Mook Lab, TFC, Agitato, and Resolute Kraken. So shout out to those legendary people. And also a quick shout out to Kel Rides Hondas on YouTube for recommending that I ride a CRF150 for the video here today. So yes, been riding the 85s and the 150s here the last couple of days, just been digging it in MX Bikes, so I figure we'll keep the train rolling. And we'll ride this track on a CRF150, and this bike has some serious giddy up, and this track has the ability to really rip this thing all the way around the track. I feel like I can pretty much just run it like practically wide open everywhere, but it's a lot of fun. And this track is a lot of fun. I don't know much about like Australian moto or Australian motocross tracks and like kind of the local scene at all. So I don't know, like, is this a track that's raced? Is this a track that like commonly people in Western Australia and Perth and such go to? It did seem like it's pretty close to the city when I saw the Google Maps overhead of it. It looks like it's maybe like a 30-minute, 40-minute drive from downtown Perth, which usually speaking, it's pretty hard to find motocross tracks that close to a major city, so I think that's pretty cool. But yeah, is this like kind of like a staple Western Australian motocross track, or is it not? Or is there other tracks that people go to that are more common in Perth or out there in Western Australia? For those of you that don't know anything about Australia or anything like that, it's basically mostly everything is on the east coast of Australia. You got Sydney, Brisbane, Melbourne, Adelaide, bunch of big cities like that over there, and then a huge vast land in the middle that I believe they call the bush, and not much is out there. There's like a couple small towns, but it's basically just a giant desert. And then you have Perth and a couple other towns, but mainly Perth on the west coast of Australia, and they're really kind of out there by themselves. Like there's nothing in between the east and the west that much, and Perth is kind of looked at as like a little bit of an outsider, I think. So yeah, I don't even believe they race Australian motocross, like the Australian Motocross Championship. They don't go all the way over out towards Perth. I know Manjimup is out on the west coast, but I don't know if that's actually part of the Australian Motocross Championship or not. I just know they do that Manjimup 500 or whatever it's called. Anyway, we're going to talk about Coastal Park here by Higgo and how rad of a track it is. Like I said, it's a lot of fun. I think I haven't really tested it on a 450. I did ride it a little bit on a 250, and pretty much it feels, you know, kind of similar to riding the CRF 150, maybe a little bit faster, I guess, that I can hit it. But for the most part, I'm feeling pretty comfortable on this bike, so I feel like I'm shredding pretty much everything else. But yeah, it seems like it's kind of scaled for maybe a little bit of a smaller bike. Like if you ride a 450, I'm sure you're probably over jumping some of these tables. Like even on a CRF 150, I'm kind of over jumping some of these tables. But yeah, you know, open corners, not a lot of braking bumps, so you can carry a lot of momentum in and out of the corners. I feel like this is a very, very good, you know, kind of mid-range track. Beginner, intermediate, expert, all can find some fun on this track, because you can really haul the mail. You can lay into these corners. You can go pretty much wide open, not even let off the throttle in some regards with how good these corners are set up. But if you're new to the game, maybe you're a little bit of a beginner still trying to figure things out in MX Bikes, this is definitely a good track to kind of learn the skill sets a little bit, I think, because everything is a little bit, you know, kind of easier. There's not big braking bumps. The ruts are pretty large. They're not small and, you know, kind of precise, I guess, like we saw in Super Coupe yesterday. So yeah, really, really cool track. I've been wanting to do it for like a track walk for a while, but I think I'm going to just kind of transfer into just doing MX Bikes videos and not really thinking about fitting them into like a round peg into a square hole or whatever kind of thing. Just doing MX Bikes videos, and when I feel like I found a cool track or a cool challenge or something to do, hit record and have a little bit of fun doing it. So that's what I'm doing today, ripping the CRF 150 around Coastal Park MX. Now, like I said, on the MXB mods page that Higgo has, I haven't seen any other tracks by him. Maybe he's released some on the forums that I haven't seen. Did talk a little bit in this post about releasing some other tracks or being part of some releases for the other Australian tracks that I guess there's an Australian series going on or something like that. Again, I'm not too well versed on the racing side of stuff in bikes, at least for like kind of the, I guess, the not aerial ESX championship scene of it. So that's kind of cool if they've been building like a bunch of Australian motocross tracks and they're trying to competitively race them and such like that. But if they're not, and this is just one of those weird one-off things, and this is really Higgo's first track, then this is a terrific first track. I don't feel like it is. I feel like he's probably put a couple more other works out there and I just didn't do good enough research. But if it is a first track, this is incredible. It's really well put together. Love the actual aesthetical look of it. You know, the grass on the sides is very well put together. He's got the trees everywhere, the side banners, the shadows work very well. I like the kind of time of day that we got going right here too. It looks really good. The skybox is incredible. Like, it just is really gorgeous, looking out over a little bit of a lake. I'm not sure if that's accurate to this area, because it looked like it was actually pretty close to the actual like coast, so I would assume you'd just be looking out over the ocean. But this little look that he has in the background here, it's like looking out over a lake. I don't know, could be wrong. I guess, you know, I've never been to the track, so I can't speak to that side of it. But yeah, aesthetics incredible. Definitely one of those tracks that maybe, just maybe, I'll throw an MX Bikes edit together on someday if I ever get around to throwing edits together again. But yeah, really, really cool. I like that he included some banners of guys that helped him out too. Like, he credited Fat Muppet a little bit too for helping him out, and there's a Fat Muppet banner right there. We know Fat Muppet and all of his work that he's done before. He did the Farm 14 and a lot of other things, so he's done some cool stuff. And it seems like he's helped out Higgo here to make this track. And terrific job by Higgo. I could definitely see this track, trying to think back to kind of the series that I remember from the sim days. This is very much like a local cross track. Very local cross tracky feel to me. It is a little bit on the long side. Lap times hovering in the 140s, maybe 130s if you're hauling the mail. But yeah, we used to have these local cross races in sim back in like 2011, 2012, 2013 that were a ton of fun. Got a lot of the pro guys together, and they just would shred these fairly simple tracks, kind of like this one is. But it would be a lot of fun because then we'd have guys race 125s and we'd have race 50s and other things like that. And I could totally see that being a thing in this game too. So yeah, definitely one of those tracks that I would recommend seeing that for. There's a lot of tracks like that because it's kind of my vibe right now. With my skill set in the game, I'm not really shredding everything. So more looking for something kind of mid-range like this where a noob-ish kind of guy like me can have some fun still and feel like I'm really ripping, even though I'm definitely not compared to like my teammates who definitely rip. But like, I don't know, I'm getting around pretty good, right? I'm laying into these ruts pretty nicely, carrying some good momentum. I'm coming up short on this table over and over again. There's been a couple almost through the front door moments as well. But other than that, riding pretty well. Gotta see what my lap time is this time by 148.5. I think I did a 45 at one point. So I was pretty stoked on that. And yeah, we'll finish up one more lap and call it a little bit of a video here today, talking about the Coastal MX Park here by Higgo. Very, very cool track. Yeah, 10 out of 10 would recommend. I don't know if I'd give it a 10 out of 10. Trying to think of a good reason why, but I feel like I've played better tracks, like more, I guess the hyper-realistic tracks always just get me, but gosh, some of JV's tracks are ridiculous, and like if I'm putting JV's tracks on a 10 out of 10, this has to be like a 9.8 out of 10, because they're just not quite that level, but such a good rendition of this track. A lot of fun. Could do with, you know, I guess if you're trying to make it a little bit more realistic, a little bit more of the braking bumps, maybe a rut or two more in the corners, so it's not just 2 ruts every single corner, and they're all pretty fast, like kind of wide open, like look at just 4th gear. Just lay into that, just not even let off the throttle. But I guess I am on a CRF150, right? If I'm hitting that on a 450, I could be a little bit mad. But I'm sure there's people out there that are hitting this track wide open on a 450 and making me look silly. So, like that. Just laying it over and crossing over ruts mid-corner. Take this inside rut right here. I didn't do a very good job in this video of showing off the different lines that are available, because there's multiple lines in every corner, right? There's 2 lines to every corner. Go out here up the top, almost jump off the track. I like this line right here where you can kind of like jump into this corner, just land sitting down, rail through that. And I got a little bit of a soft spot for tracks that have over-under bridges. Like, this track is obviously a very little tight, kind of narrow space to work with, so they don't have like property that goes way to my right or to my left. Like, it's very much, you know, a couple football fields, I guess you would say, put together. So making use of an over-under bridge is really, really cool. If you guys remember my SYS Raceway track from MX Simulator, I use an over-under bridge on a track that's kind of tight and narrow like this as well. And this is a real-life track, and it's just one of those things that, like, as a racer that doesn't race Supercross, you don't often get over-under bridges to hit. So I like it. I think it's really cool. I think Canada has a track like that too, right? Wild Rose MX Park, if I'm thinking correctly, has an over-under bridge as well. Just got a soft spot for it, man. It's cool to see. So well done by Higgo. Great track, a lot of fun. Definitely would recommend you guys checking this out, and check out the links in the description below to get the mods for this CRF150 downloaded. Check it out there. If I have any other links that I need to include, I'll be sure to try to remember them. But hopefully you guys enjoyed a little bit of second day in a row MX Bikes video coming your way, playing Coastal Park MX by Higgo in MX Bikes, having a little bit of a fun time doing it. And that's going to be my spiel today. I'll send you guys on your merry way. Hopefully you're having a lovely Wednesday, or if you're in Australia, because it's already Thursday, hopefully you're having a lovely Thursday as well. Thanks guys for tuning in. I'll see you guys in the next one. So long for now.